everybody. Oh, God, cringe videos. Don't we have enough cringe in our lives with all the feminists we deal with on an everyday basis? And see who I'm saying good morning to before everything. Allowing much. So good morning, Hellbound. Wren, how you doing? Hey, Jason. Okay, I'll be sure to do that. Looks like there's only 3 people in the chat this morning. It is Monday. Things tend to go wrong on Monday, and you know what better thing to go wrong on a Monday than be out of coffee for a show called The Morning Brew, which is why I'm drinking green tea this morning. It's caffeine. It is raining outside. It's gray, it's icky, it's rainy, but it's not really like thundering and lightning out there. I hate driving in the rain, but if I have to, I will. I'm gonna have to if it's still raining by the time Ronan gets back from doing his regional runs. He's doing pretty good. He's averaging between 450 to 500 miles a day. So the paychecks are going to be looking pretty good. According to Walmart, I'm supposed to be getting my new computer either today or tomorrow. I wish they'd make up their mind. I hope it's today, because I would really like to test out some streams and stuff like that today to see if the stuff works, so I can like really launch everything tomorrow. And you know, what I think is, you know, blow everybody's socks off by finally going from ghetto stream to semi-professional looking stream. So there we go, right? Let's see here. Wait, the first, let me see what we got. Let me open up my Kindle and see what we've got in store for stories today. Here's my Evernote. Ding, 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 ding. Which one? It's sinking. I should have done this before, but hey, you know, what do you know? Morning, Rabbit. First one on the list today is this guy again, because he could get life in prison. He's appearing today before a military judge. The judge has to resolve a last-minute defense argument due to Trump's remarks. Now, if any of you guys remember back on the campaign trail, Trump said things to the effect of he is a traitor to the country, he should go before a firing squad, or be tossed out an airplane without a parachute. Well, he's doubled down and backed his campaign statements, and the defense attorney for Bergdahl is saying that that is, you know, skewing the trial. That as you will. He does face life in prison for deserting his post. When he deserted his post, we all know soldiers had to go out and look for him. Many got wounded, a few died. Among the people to testify are going to be soldiers that were wounded. Testifying against him. He should have said helicopter. Everything would have been better. I know, Rabbit, right? Let me see if I can get the old Nightbot woke up today, because I need, let's see if he's out there today. If not, that means he's on strike, and that's something else I gotta fix. Let's see. Obama, for those that don't remember, Obama did swap 5 members of the Taliban for this guy, whose reasoning for wandering off post was he was trying to go to another post to tell them the problems he was having own unit. Morning, Wikipedia snippet. How are you doing? Morning, no name. I discussed this with Mitch the Ripper and Merlin, and also Ghost on their American Reality podcast Saturday night, to which Merlin kept yelling, chain of command. There's a chain of command. And there is. He should have gone up the chain of command if he had those grievances, instead of deserting his post, getting captured. And poor Bergdahl said he was caged, kept in darkness, and beaten, and he tried to escape at least a dozen times. Escape, but never quite made it. But for somebody who attempted escape for about a dozen times, what he looked like when he was finally found didn't look that bad, if I remember correctly. As a matter of fact, he didn't look bad at all. Now, every once in a while, I have to wake up Old Nightbot in order for him to start shilling, so we shall see. Hopefully, he remembers to shill my gaming channel, which will probably start cycling through. To me, I think they should go back to execution by firing squad for traitors of the country, because when you desert your post, you're basically leaving everybody behind, or now you are forcing them to look for you in enemy territory, which can and did lead to unnecessary injuries and death of your fellow soldiers. His father, under the Obama administration, was on television, and, you know, the whole Muslim beard and mustache thing, talking, you know, about Islam and all that stuff. So guillotine is still better. I think public hangings are in order, but that's just me. Hangings are in order, but, you know, that's just my opinion. Mad Dog is in Asia. It's up here this morning. Book. There we go. There's Mad Dog Mattis. Let's see here. He kicks off a week-long trip to Asia, starting with the Philippines, going to Thailand, and then South Korea. This comes weeks before Trump's visits to Asia, and all this is on the heels of Trump and Kim Jong-un going back and forth on social media and TV, basically, you know, between the two of them. He's expected to meet with both Japanese and Korean counterparts. There will also be a meeting from Monday to Wednesday this week of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. They're going to be discussing the crisis that the DPRK has caused, and also shared values such as state sovereignty, territorial integrity, freedom of navigation through national waters, fair and reciprocal trade. Will be visiting China, and he's also been pressuring China to for them to rein in North Korea. I think at this point, reining in Kim Jong-un is damn near impossible, if not improbable. So that's what's going on over there. So Mattis will be talking to them about the issues at hand. We're going to keep an eye on that story. Because of Vercingetorix, as I like to call him still, Scotch McGinnis, constantly asking for links. The links that I have pulled the talking points from for today's news story, for today's newscast, as well as future newscasts, are in the description below. Good morning, Ghost Dog. And as much as he likes bullets to the jaw. All right, next one. All right, let me see here. We have a picture of destruction and the Senate actually releasing funds, but not to everybody. Shall we go ahead and Senate pushes $36.5 billion disaster relief package. This would give the Puerto Rico much needed infusion of cash, which will replenish dwindling emergency disaster accounts. They will also give $16 billion to federal flood insurance programs related claims. The problem is this particular allocation of relief funds rejected requests from Texas to the tune of $19 billion for Harvey repairs, and they also rejected Florida's request for $27 billion for repairs and recovery from Irma and Maria. Well, at least Irma. They will be issuing another disaster relief measure next month, which will cover all three in Puerto Rico. The measure before the Senate contains $577 million for the wildfires out west that have ravaged out there. This has tapped the reserves for FEMA and firefighting services out west. They passed a $15.3 billion measure last month for relief. So these relief measures are still coming through Congress, through Senate, to get everybody repaired, get everybody back on their feet, get things rolling again, and so everybody can get to some semblance of normalcy. I don't think these people will ever return back to a normal life after the devastation that they've suffered. Because even though all of us can agree that a house is just a house, when you live in it, it becomes a home. Memories were there. Photographs were there. Your children's favorite toys were there. where you used to gather to watch television. That was your home. Your home is gone now. It can be rebuilt. It can be repaired, but you can't get the photographs back. You can't get that same old homely feel, the broken-in couch in front of the television and everybody watching a movie in front of it. Nor your old and favorite dining room set where everybody sat around for dinner just to goof off while they were eating or talk about their day. These are the things that are gone for them. So their new normal is trying to get back into a routine after everything is fixed and everything is replaced. You can replace things. You can't replace memories. So my heart still goes out for the people in Texas and Florida and Puerto Rico and in the Virgin Islands that also got hit by the hurricanes. Because all these people it was lost in the fire or something similar. Yeah. How many times have we heard it was lost in the fire or something similar? Morning, Penina. Exactly. Their lives have basically come to a halt. A routine has been turned upside down. They now have to find a way to move on from here. I'm going to continue having them in my thoughts until they can get back to some sort of normalcy. Yeah, I love you too, White Rabbit. 3 of the morning. Yes, that is Theresa May leaving the venue for the summit. Business appeal for Brexit transition. Also, UK and EU deny a leak. So let's get into these talking points. Largest business groups called for government to quickly agree to transition period. 2 years following exit for certainty of trade and critical decisions about jobs and investments. The groups that actually... A little sip of tea. Damn. The lung didn't come up. It's still in there. I haven't acted up yet. It's working on it, though. It's working on it. The groups that got together to write this joint letter, it's a long list. Confederation of British Industry, the British Chamber of Commerce, the manufacturing trade body EEF, the Institute of Directors, and the Federation of Small Businesses wrote a letter to Brexit Secretary David Davis. And it was quoted as saying they want as close as possible to the status quo to happen. They also were quoted in the letter saying, agreement is needed as soon as possible as companies are preparing to make serious decisions at the start of 2018, which will have consequences for jobs and investment in the United Kingdom. Britain is due to have the full Brexit, in other words, them leave completely and officially in 2019. Minister May has requested a 2-year transition following the Brexit. They did have a European South summit last month. The EU leaders are pressing for more concessions on a divorce payment before trade and other talks can continue. On to the leak. So what was supposedly leaked was May at a dinner a week ago sought to rally EU support for Brexit. Someone said the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker was quoted as saying May was, quote, begging for help, unquote. Aide refuted the claim, saying Juncker would never say that. They haven't leaked information and are punitive on Brexit. This denial was backed. Brain ain't working this morning. The denial was backed by the European Commission spokesman. Quote, we have never been punitive on Brexit. We have said at all levels on many occasions that we are working for a fair deal, unquote. May has needed a boost from the 27 other EU leaders. Government and conservative parties are divided. So she's fighting against her own country, as well as trying to garner support from these other leaders in the European Union. The European Union, their main reason for refuting this particular leak and what was actually said, they're not saying what was actually said. All they keep saying is he didn't say that. He would never say that. The EU leaders don't want to make Brexit any more difficult for May than it already seems to be. So there is that going for them. At least they're trying to take some pressure off of it. But we shall still keep an eye on that and see what goes on and what happens, because, you know, they want to leave the EU, but they're not the only country in the European Union that wants to leave the European Union. So as we hear more stuff coming out, Fake leaks are reported in the Onion. Yeah. You know, as more they want out, we're going to, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on those, and you know, they're going to be in the news as they come up and announce that they want to exit the European Union. We have already seen with the European Union and the mentality of globalization. We're seeing it with Germany. We're seeing it with Sweden. The overrun of being made to take in all of these refugees, regardless of how they became refugees in the first place. Merkel continuing to say that we need to take in more when the country's already overrun and crime is skyrocketing in a lot of areas in Germany. Sweden is getting to the point where, you know, they're not defending their own citizens against the ravages of these so-called refugees. Gang rapes are occurring in Sweden, and they're going, and Sweden is turning a blind eye because they don't want to be seen as racist or, you know, any sort of unwelcoming to these particular refugees. And this is a problem. It's been a growing problem for a while with the European Union. You can't forsake the safety of your people in order to let refugees into your country. Ahem, Saudi Arabia. Ahem, air-conditioned tents. Reading Wren. Sweden is quickly becoming a defunct country. Yes, it is. I completely agree, Wren. I completely agree wholeheartedly. It is. Let me see. What else do we have slated today? Unfortunately, since I have such a long list, I did not have time to look up any recommended videos for the day. So I don't have a list of recommended. So we're going to go on to the fun stuff. This is 37 extremely funny quotes, but we're not going to go through all 37. We're just going to go through a few of them. To be honest, I'm just winging it. Life, motherhood, my eyeliner. Morning, Neil. Yep, you're late. The best therapist has fur and 4 legs. Well, for me, it's my dog. For a lot of other people, it's a cat. We have one hand that knows how to do everything, and then the one hand that just sits there like, I don't know how to hold a pencil. Morning, Malachite. Beautiful day to leave me alone. I try anything once. Twice if I like it. Only half full, you probably need a different bra. Okay. I couldn't be fake about anything if I tried. My facial expressions would never allow it. That is so me. I have the world's worst poker face. The world's worst poker face. I'm going to stand outside, so if anyone asks, I'm outsiding. Inventing words. Like you, because you join in on my weird. I like you because you join in on my weirdness. Weird in different ways, and we all like each other for different reasons. Igor and I wish we could catch more of your streams, but parenthooding is a thing. Yeah, I know. Morning, Futter. People talk about having an inner child. I don't. I have an inner old lady who says inappropriate things, tells everyone to be quiet, and wants to go to bed at 8 p.m. Please stand by. When I look at myself in the mirror, I see a unicorn, a badass unicorn. When in doubt, vacation. I wish I could. Don't have enough money for one yet. Life is not a fairy tale. If you lose your shoe at midnight, you're drunk. I don't have the time or crayons to explain myself to you. I'm trying to be awesome today, but I'm exhausted from being so freaking awesome yesterday. Life is too short to argue with stupid people, but we do it anyway for some reason. Well, aren't you a little ray of pitch black? And finally, don't let idiots ruin your day. And let's see if we have Wren. Doesn't want to work. Breaking news this morning. this and hope it loads. This is a news app, so it may take a couple of seconds to load because I'm still on my slow computer. All right. Tillerson says room for Taliban and Afghan government. What? All right. Bagram Air Base, Afghanistan. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Monday there's a place for moderate elements of the Taliban in Afghanistan's government as long as they renounce violence and terrorism and commit to stability. He's a dumbass. He also delivered a blunt warning to neighboring Pakistan, insisting Islamabad must step up action against terrorist groups that have found safe haven within its borders. Speaking on an unannounced trip to Afghanistan, where he met Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, Chief Executive Abdullah, and other senior officers at Bagram Air Base north of Kabul, Tillerson said the Taliban must understand that they will never win a military victory and should prepare to negotiate with the government. Quote, clearly, we have to continue to fight against the Taliban, against others, in order for them to understand they will never win a military victory, unquote. Tillerson told a small group of reporters allowed to accompany him from the Qatari capital of Doha. And there were, we believe, moderate voices among the Taliban voices that do not want to continue to fight forever. They do not want their children to fight forever, so we are looking to engage with those voices and have them engage in a reconciliation process leading to a peace process and their full involvement and participation in the government. My God, that's a lot of words. There is a place for them in the government if they are ready to come, renouncing terrorism, renouncing violence, and being committed to a stable, prosperous Afghanistan, Tiller said. Sign of dementia. Yeah, I know. I completely agree, Wikipedia. Tillerson outlined to Ghani and Abdullah the Trump administration's new South Asia policy, which the president rolled out last month, and views the region through a lens that includes Afghanistan as well as Pakistan and India, both of which he will visit later this week. The approach is heavy on combating and beating extremist groups in all three countries. We want to work with regional partners to ensure that there are no threats in the region, he said. This is very much a regional effort, as you saw. It was rolled out in the strategy itself, demanding that others deny safe haven to terrorists anywhere in the region. We are working closely with Pakistan as well. Tillerson will visit Islamabad on Tuesday and said he would be telling Pakistani officials that their cooperation in fighting extremists and driving them from hideouts on their territory is imperative to a good relationship with the U.S. Morning, Traname. It will be based upon whether they take action that we feel is necessary to move the process forward for both creating opportunity for reconciliation and peace in Afghanistan, but also ensuring a stable future Pakistan, he said. Pakistan needs to, I think, take a clear-eyed view of the situation that they are confronted with in terms of the number of terrorist organizations that find safe haven inside of Pakistan. So we want to work closely. Pakistan, to create a more stable and secure Pakistan as well. Okay, that sentence ain't written very well. Someone is on drugs if they think that will work. Yeah, I completely agree, Ghost Dog. The administration's strategy for South Asia envisions it as part of what Tillerson referred to in his speech last week as Indian Pacific Ocean platform anchored by 4 democracies, India, Australia, Japan, and the United States. The U.S. is placing high hopes on India's contributions in South Asia, especially in Afghanistan, where Tillerson said New Delhi could have significant influence and presence by creating jobs and the right environment for the future of Afghanistan. Mornings are most definitely gay, Doubting Tommy. Tillerson also met with Bagram and senior members of the U.S. military contingent, including Army General John Nicholson, the top U.S. commander in Afghanistan. He underscored the ongoing U.S. commitment to stabilizing Afghanistan, but stressed it as conditions-based, meaning the government must meet certain benchmarks. He praised Ghani for his efforts to curb corruption and prepare for the country parliamentary elections next year. More on that one. It is imperative in the end that we are denying safe haven to any terrorist organizations or any extremists to any part of this world, Tillerson said. He arrived in Afghanistan cloaked in secrecy and under heavy security. He had slipped out of Qatar in the pre-dawn hours and flew a gray C-17 military plane to Bagram, jettisoning his public schedule, which had him meeting with staffers at the U.S. Embassy in Doha. Time private pilot rode in the cockpit wearing a headset and chatting with the crew as the plane took off from Al Udeid Air Base outside Doha. Futternut. These articles make me want to drink before 9 a.m. Yeah, I know. But this is, who wrote this? This is out of the AP. So that's straight off the AP. So we've got that. Whether that's going for us or not is a different thing. I don't think they're going to reach any sort of agreement with any sort of Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Hamas, or Sunni, or anybody like that, because they're very stuck on their ideology, for lack of a better term. So today's live stream announcement. Eastern Standard Time, yes, less than a minute from now, Tonkasaw has his Kumite. It runs about a couple of hours. He kind of, does little BS things and stream of thoughts at the beginning, and then he has people on and they have fun and they talk about all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like a chill stream sort of thing. Jason's Pub, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he will be showing cringe videos. His link is, as I like to call it, Some Ranting Scribes channel. Some Ranting Scribes live stream, rather. It's going to be on Some Dumb Americans channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It features Ranting Monkey, Some Dumb American, and Scribe Light. Henceforth, the Some Ranting Scribe. It took me a while to come up with that one. You can laugh at it or you can groan. I don't care. It's going to be on Some Dumb Americans channel this evening. Being a professional driver has its demands, but when you're an owner-operator like Magnus Deacon, you're also responsible for fuel and any repairs when your truck needs them. And that's the rough spot where our beloved Magnus is in right now. He had to make repairs to the tune of $12,000 to his rig, leaving him in the hole financially. He can get a loan, but he is $3,000 short of reaching the point where he can get one. His truck is his home, where he eats, sleeps, and streams with Wren, Red Robot, and others. Remember, it's truckers that deliver to your grocery, electronic, and mega stores. They make sure we have what we need every day. So it's time we give back to them by helping one who needs a hand up. And that is why Reading Wren is doing a fundraiser for Magnus Deacon at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, where she will be passing out his PayPal link, which is in the description below. So those are the live stream announcements for the day. Let me see here. There's articles that made me want to drink bleach. Yep, that is right over here. This is my gaming channel, and as soon as I get my new computer, which is either going to come today or tomorrow, for those of you just tuning in, when I live stream games, it is going to be on this channel. So please subscribe over there and hit that bell so you can get all your little notifications as to when I'm going to cuss, holler, scream, and get frustrated playing a game. Live stream gaming is going to be on that channel. Chill streams and old time radio theater are still going to be on this channel. And speaking of old time radio, October 31st, that is a Tuesday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Old Time Radio will present the 1938 airing of War of the Worlds. Yes, I found the original radio broadcast, and I will be broadcasting it on Halloween. So please join me for that. Mark it down on your calendars. I would love to see as many of you there as possible. And it will be on the new format, since I will most definitely have my computer by Halloween. So, let me get over here. Wrong one. How do I do this? I don't know why I didn't minimize it. I know why I didn't minimize it, because I'm an idiot. Yay! Tomorrow I won't minimize this thing. I won't need to do it anyway. Whoa. Pause. Pause. Damn it. So I screw everything up. As usual, my friends, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have a marvelous Monday. See those of you that are in my Discord. In Discord, I shall be there after the stream. Ciao.